All right, guys. Good to see you guys. It's been a few weeks. Everyone's been busy. Pandemic's been raging still, but things are starting to cool down, which is nice. We got Paul. We got Andy tonight. Maybe Mike might jump in if he can get his
Mike
down. Mike. Yeah. Hey, have you guys been busy doing anything, Paul? Anything personally?
No, not too much. My work's been pretty slow.
Yeah.
Still been open, still been working, but all of my customers were out of a job up until they still are technically until the 1st of June here in a couple days, but
barbers are closed.
But now that they know that they're going back to work, things have kind of picked up a bit. So kind of just taking it day by day. The weather's been better, so I've been trying to get out for runs and stuff like that, which is not something that I normally do. I'm normally not like a cardio guy, but when the gym's closed, you kind of just
you got to get out and get some fresh air.
You can.
Yeah, man.
Like,
speaking of barbers,
it's like the prohibition of haircuts right now.
Yeah. The Great Depression of barbershops.
You can do his own.
Yeah, you're cutting people's hair in the alleyways, and the cops are just like beating people with batons.
Yeah. What's the saying on Facebook is that you can go and buy marijuana, but you gotta go to the back alley to get a haircut or something like that.
Yeah, man. The dark markets of the barbershops.
You'll see memes like that on your Facebook, Paul, but like, because you're a hairdresser, but like, I don't think me and Young get those algorithms. So it's good. It's sweet that you can bring it up. So all those jokes I think are fresh to a lot of people. So
yeah, probably. I guess I never thought of it that way. I remember of like 5 or 10 different hairdressing groups, so I see the same shit popping up over and over and over again. I'm just like, I seen this fucking a week ago, right? Who cares?
Yeah. So is it next week they could start opening barbershops again?
Yeah, June 1st.
Nice.
On or maybe it's the 31st actually, the Monday. Monday or Tuesday.
End of May. Yeah.
It's like by appointment only services. So you can't technically do a walk-in for a place, but you can book an appointment. So the only thing that's happening is hairdressers are just saying, some guy walks in and says, "Hey, can I get my hair cut?" And they just say, "Unfortunately, because the rules, I can't get you in right now, but if you'd like to come back in 10 minutes, I can book you an appointment."
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or I can book you an appointment 10 minutes from now. And the guy goes, "Okay." And then you just get him in right away, right? So
go grab a drink and come back.
Just got to be careful about your wording, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, what you, Andy? I'm loving the stash that you got, man. Did you just trim it recently?
Yeah. No, I've just been growing it out. I was watching an episode of Alex Jones, and he says, you grow your mustache out far enough, you can prevent COVID bacteria from getting up into
nice
airways. So
nice.
Nice. I had a couple weeks off, so I grew my beard out, and then I had to go back to work. So I got to wear a face mask sometimes, and I'm like shaving my face in the shower, and it's taken forever because you're just taking layer after layer off. So I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving the mustache. That'll save me half an hour right there.
Can you work? Can you still wear like whatever those masks with a mustache, or do you got to shave the mustache before going to work?
Yeah. Basically, you could have like a goatee because the mask, the 3M mask, kind of just goes around it. So.
Nice.
But doesn't the edge of the mustache, isn't it too wide? You gotta bring it into the.
Yeah. This is actually just making it.
Wow.
Suck it in a bit.
Imagine if you just
go back to the Charlie Chaplin.
You go on site, the guy pulls out a measuring stick and measures your mustache just to make sure it works. He's got some clippers ready to trim your mustache.
Just uses his finger. Just uses his finger as a measurement. Just puts it up to your nose.
Yeah.
No.
It smells so gross.
Just.
You had some ketchup chips before. Rubbing Doritos on your face.
Yeah. My mustache smells like finger after. It smells like mustache.
Have you been busy in the last a couple weeks, Andy? Like just doing personal projects or anything, or helping out with the bros or on anything?
Yeah. Mostly personal projects. Me and Paul are still writing music, so that's been fun.
Nice.
Sold the camper van, the RV.
Oh shit! No way. How much you get for it?
And I got that I put it up for 10, and after the inspection, there was a little bit of work and stuff had to be done. I let it go for 65. So.
Wow, that's not bad, man. Big chunk of change.
Yeah, me and my dad bought it for 45 from Quebec.
There you go.
And after Mike's bachelor party, I flew $100 plane, flew to Quebec, and drove it all the way back. Me and Melissa went to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it had one really good run and a couple small camping trips. But
yeah, dude, that's awesome, man. $6,500.
But that's the thing
it's just too much maintenance. And we'll go ahead, Paul.
Even though it's nice to have, right? Like I think most people would say, oh, it'd be nice to have like a little camper van you could take on road trips and camping trips and stuff like that. But if you're not getting really regular use out of it, then it's kind of just like a hassle. Like you got to keep up on maintenance, you got to keep up on insurance and all that stuff. You got to find a place to park it. Like I know where I live, the parking is pretty sparse, right? So it'd be just a pain in the ass to find a spot for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm living apartment life too, like Paul here. So it's you really start learning how to basically live out of a suitcase kind of idea after a while.
Yeah, man. Keep everything to the minimal.
How about you, Yoong?
Man, just been working, doing lots of yard work, planting trees, bushes. We got a garden set up. I'm so domesticated. Spent hundreds of dollars on a garden just to grow a few cents of vegetables. and it takes 4 months to harvest. So man, we're just watering. But it's nice though. The kids are into it. So
well, that's the thing, and you get that green thumb started, and later in life you keep learning, and eventually you're gonna have like a nice luscious big garden every year. It's gonna be awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, the initial start price is a couple $100, but then we're good for like the rest of life, whatever, right? So
doesn't a lot of that stuff, does it come back every year, or do you got to keep planting it over and over again, like vegetables and stuff?
Yeah, I think you get majority of those seeds you got to replant, but they're like a few bucks. They're super cheap.
Yeah.
But it's just the garden box itself and all the soil that you got to buy. Yeah, it was like a couple $100. But it's all right.
Where'd you buy your garden from, yo?
Costco. Costco bought the garden box, and then like Home Depot, Canadian Tire for like the soil. I think Canadian Tire, they just bought a bunch of soil from there. Seeds from Walmart, which were like $5.
Oh, did you get one of those multi-tier planters?
Yeah. They're like modular. They just come with walls and the post. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
4 feet.
Does it have a cover on it too, like a greenhouse cover?
No. If we ever need to cover it, I think we just have some old sheets, like when we had that snowstorm a couple weeks ago, and we planted our garden kind of early. We were just wanted to get her done, so we just put a couple old sheets over it, and hey, the seeds survived, and things are still blooming. So it's nice.
Yeah, I think as long as it's not a extended cold snap, like it was only cold for 24 hours pretty much, so
Edmonton, man,
it's pretty safe.
Well, it's crazy. I saw these warnings like watch out for like tree branches falling and stuff, and I was like, haha, whatever, it's one snowfall. But my foreman lives out in the country, and he's got a bunch of fencing, electric fencing, and other fencing for some of his animals or critters, like he'd call them and stuff. But that one snowfall, because now there's leaves on the tree because of spring. Yeah. And they haven't had a lot of chance to get a lot of chlorophyll through like the branches and stuff to strengthen it up. Yeah. That you'll get a couple 100 pounds of snow being held by the leaves and the branches, and the branches will bend and snap. Wow. And apparently it busted his fence in like 5 different spots.
No
like destroyed
way.
It. Like
a massive old tree. It was a pretty old tree.
Like 5 trees, and they're not even that old. Like they're just coming back to life for the spring.
Dang.
And they don't have enough chlorophyll in the branches to really make them like strong and rubbery.
Jeez.
Where they can bounce back.
Look at that.
But there's more surface area to catch the snow.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing. I would never even consider.
Yeah, apparently trees in the fall and the winter are even like, stronger because they don't have the leaves, they don't have the surface area. So
they're smart enough that they strengthen their branches and whatnot. I always feel bad for the birds, man. The birds that kind of come back up north.
Oh yeah.
Just for spring, and then we get the shitty weather. I'm like, oh man, these birds are probably so pissed.
It is like the weirdest thing to look outside and see snow everywhere and hear birds chirping.
Yeah.
It is so odd.
They're
so
just
odd.
shivering. Oh man, I feel so bad for them.
It's kind of like us when we go camping on May long weekend.
Yeah.
We're like those
freezing.
stupid birds.
Yeah,
Freezing every night, man. Yeah. Oh,
There's
man.
probably some other like bigger creature, like some alien who's watching us and thinking the same thing that we think about the birds. Like, these poor humans, they got no idea what they're getting.
Why do they live so north? Even today and yesterday night, man, those winds were crazy, man.
Yeah.
We just bought a brand new tree. Oh, go ahead, Paul.
Getting ready to go to bed, and I got the Weather Network warning on my phone, severe thunderstorm warning, and then just the wind picks up like crazy, and I don't know, start closing windows and stuff because you don't know what's going on.
Oh man, we heard things shaking in the house, man. It was crazy. And then we just bought a brand new tree, like just a skinny, like young tree. So I had to like peg it down, strap it down to the fence so that it doesn't get blown over and die on me. So
just go outside and hang on to it.
Not tonight. Not
Paul, I was thinking when he said it, that three-legged race where you strap it to your leg and make an extension of yourself. Like running across the yard with it.
Good thing we got it from Costco, man. If it dies on us, we'll just return it back to Costco.
Oh yeah.
They'll take anything, bro. They'll take anything back, man. It's crazy.
Oh man, I've heard crazy stories of people that like they've had a bed for like 6 years and they bring it back just like stained and soiled.
Yeah, they'll take it, man.
Yeah,
it's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Just get a full refund.
They don't care, man. They got so much money.
I don't get that. I don't get how they can do that.
Customer service.
Like,
I don't know. They make so much money from subscriptions and even just people going crazy buying their things that it's all for customer service, I think.
But if they just stop taking back those really, really old things, they would be turning more money, and people would still think of them as the cool store where they can get, all their bulk stuff at, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think less of Costco if they stopped taking back dirty fucking mattresses from 10 years ago, right?
Well, that's the thing. People abuse the system for so long, and then apparently eventually they'll make a change, like they did with their electronics, right?
Yeah.
They went from like a 3-year, basically unlimited electronics, like everything else, to like, I don't know, 90 days now or whatever it is. I
wonder what to do with like all the shit, like the dead plants and the mattresses. Like, what do they I'm sure they just chuck it, right? They can't sell that stuff.
Yeah, just giving it to their employees. Here's a gross, dirty mattress.
They're expecting a paycheck. They get an old mattress instead.
Some of us get a turkey for Christmas. Others of us get old, dirty mattresses.
Dirty mattresses with some dead plants. I just picture like an incinerator just right behind the customer service desk, and they're just throwing shit in there.
Oh, maybe that's how they cook their food. They burn all that crap.
Oh, there you go.
In the flames.
Yeah. They're fueling their own building. Yeah.
Continuous hellfire.
That's why the hot dogs are only $1, because they're made out of old mattresses.
Yeah, their fryer oil's all from like old motor oil that people returned. They're carbon neutral because they keep burning all the shit that they sell. It's perfect.
Every hot dog tastes a little different.
Yeah. Yo, speaking of money, speaking of rich people and corporations, man, I'm sure you guys heard Bill Gates and his wife split.
No,
you guys didn't. Oh, it's a big conspiracy too, Andy. Andy, I think you could probably dig deep into this and run down a rabbit hole. But so people are associating. Well, Bill Gates, of course, people know Bill Gates and kind of his plan. And Andy, I'm sure you could probably even dig deeper, even tell people what kind of his principles are. Bill Gates, regarding COVID
with the whole immunizations and.
Yeah,
everything.
And even just like him creating viruses, like you said, he creates viruses for his for Windows and kind of monetizes off that. Now people are linking him to Jeffrey Epstein. So I guess there's kind of...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is he on the flight logs at all? Is that what they're saying?
I don't know.
Or is it a different kind of connection?
I didn't dig too deep into it, but I think it's just like Clintons and just kind of rich corporate people were kind of associating with Jeffrey Epstein. And the reason...
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people are forgetting about this Epstein thing, but like the FBI's like paying huge attention. They're digging up more and more stuff. They're picking one person off at a time.
Yeah.
And they're questioning them and they're bribing them. They're saying the same thing they did with the Tiger King. I know it's a way different scale.
Yeah.
That's what they do. They one person at a time. They're like, we'll offer you immunity if you sell out the next person.
Yeah.
So it starts with actors, then it goes to politicians, then it goes to the billionaires, right? Those are the ones they want to take out. So
well, that's the thing is, even though it came to light, a couple months back, and obviously they were all aware of it for a long time, it's not something that you just solve in a day. It's kind of like the mob, right? Like you don't just go and arrest a mob boss, even though he's the mob boss, right? Like you gotta really build the case, and it's got to be really robust. And you got to make sure it's perfect, because otherwise it just won't work, right?
Yeah, because they got all the money to hire all the lawyers, so you got to make sure you have everything figured out. And like it took him over 10 years to catch Epstein, and he was out and loud and proud about it, and he was getting accused. And so, we're going to see little things here and there now that our eyes and ears are open, but it might be another 10 years till we really see any of these big name people getting really taken down for it.
Yeah. So. And that's the thing. Once he kind of got discovered, once Jeff got discovered, all these rich people just disassociated themselves with him, right, and try to clear their names. But now, okay, so going back to Bill Gates, so people are saying that he's associated with them. There's rumors or conspiracies that why his wife left him is because I guess in court, if you are charged, let's say Bill Gates was charged and they wanted his wife to testify. I think what I heard was if you're the wife of is it the defendant or the accused, that you can't testify. So the conspiracy is that Melinda knows a few things of the dark side of Bill Gates, I guess you could say. So by divorcing him, she could testify against him in court. So so that's a rumor, and that's conspiracy. And actually, in the divorce too, like she got I think $60+ billion during the divorce. Did we lose Paul there? Paul, are you still there? No, I think we lost Paul.
Oh, there he is. He's back.
He just froze for a second. Did you catch any of the things that I just said?
I just heard that you said that if somebody was the spouse, they couldn't testify.
Yeah. In court, yeah. But if you're divorced or separated, then now you could testify against your ex-partner or your ex-spouse. Yeah,
I did read an interesting article about it, and it was kind of like a opinionated article. It wasn't necessarily like a CNN factual article, so there's a little bit of the writer's spin on it, but basically it was really interesting because they were talking about kind of like some of the forgotten history of Bill Gates, where they were saying that for a long time he was just the cutthroat businessman behind Microsoft, and he was the guy who was like eating up smaller businesses and doing the things like you mentioned before, where he's I don't think he was necessarily like creating viruses for Microsoft, but like leaving vulnerabilities that he knew he could fix, and just leaving them there, knowing that they would inevitably get taken advantage of, and he could kind of upgrade and capitalize on them, right? Because he is a really smart guy. You don't get to be in a position like that by being an idiot, right? And then when they got to the point where he had some troubles and it was more controversial, is when he stepped down from the company and just became a shareholder. And that's when him and his wife started their charitable society, and that's what they've been running for all these years. And the article that I read just said that he was known to like flirt with some of the staff.
Oh yeah.
And it said that he had an affair with somebody who worked for the foundation, and that Melinda was just citing like irreconcilable differences for the reason for their split. Something like their relationship was beyond the point of fixing. And so they were breaking up. The interesting thing to me was that by getting a divorce, she instantly became a billionaire. I don't know if you guys heard that too.
Same with the Bezos.
Bezos' wife, ex-wife,
Yeah, Bezos' wife. I remember hearing that too. So, but then again, like she's like a super intelligent, very successful person.
Oh, we lose Paul again. And I think Melinda started the Gates charity too, and that was kind of her initiative going into it. But go ahead, Danny.
Well, that's the thing, and these relationships are so complicated, right? Like, how we've all been in relationships for a long time. We know it's never one thing that's causing the end of it, right? So it could be someone calling A, calling B. He could be flirting with other women, cheating on her. Like look at the Clintons, right? But then there's also all these other things. So maybe there was some other scandals and stuff, and she eventually said no. Like the weird thing is where a lot of times the couples, one person gets roped into it and they become an accomplice, right? Like what's her name with Epstein? And
well,
I
don't know. She seems
that's
like
the conspiracy. That's conspiracy. But you know what? I heard from podcasts that, so you're right, Bill Gates was kind of seeing this other woman, like every year they would go on a trip, and actually Melinda knew about it, and she allowed it. She allowed Bill to go on trips and vacations with this one woman. And but I guess they go back. It was like Bill Gates' like ex-girlfriend before meeting Melinda, so they got history, but still super weird, right? But when you're when you're worth billions of dollars and you got a comfortable lifestyle, and your husband is supporting your lifestyle, then sometimes you're like, all right.
Well, and a lot of those times, those relationships, they turn into a contractual thing after a while, right? I think you see that with the Clintons and stuff, where
strictly business.
That there's been infidelity, that there's issues, but they stay together for years and years and years, and it's all business. It's business,
exactly.
Which is scary, because when you lose that love with family members, your significant other, when you start dealing in those territories, I think you can really start making some really bad decisions, right? Especially for the greater good of people, because you're starting to turn into a machine, right? You become into a bean counter robot, right? So
it's a really interesting thing, right? Because some people, like the conservative Christian crowd might look at it and be like, oh, they're standing together through thick and thin. And, maybe a lot of us younger, more liberal people would be like, oh, she's just
in it for the money.
I don't even know, like just folding and not standing up for herself. When this person's obviously treated her like garbage, right? And it's like you look weaker to some people by not saying, fuck you, I'm leaving, right? When somebody does something so bad to you, right?
Oh yeah.
But a lot of times too, it could even be her saying, well, I'm going to leave you 10 years ago, and he's saying, well, I'll do anything for you to stay. I want to keep the public image up. And so he's the one folding and begging, and so there's so much layers to these things that we don't know about.
It's twisted,
and
right?
Money plays a big factor in it, man. Like I said, it's tough to leave a nice lifestyle of mansions and yachts and you know what I mean? To step away from that, it's tough. But sometimes you sacrifice love for that. Yeah, hey Melissa. Guest star, Melissa.
They're saying hi.
Guest star.
I'll get my guest star in.
Hey kitty cat.
Oh, Misty, you haven't shaved in a while.
Misty, you've grown so much hair since the last time.
Oh, you know what? Actually, interesting fact too. So they're kind of digging into this whole divorce thing and what they're splitting. But I guess Bill Gates had Canadian National Rail. Is that CNRL or Canadian National Rail? He had 14 million shares of CN Rail. Yeah, but I guess his wife took it, so now his wife's a big investor in Canadian National Rail. So there you go.
Wow,
crazy, eh?
Another funny thing is too, it's like these people have so much money and they own so much stuff. It's like
I know.
A lot of times it's like, yeah, they own 30% of this and they have no idea how it's run, what it is.
Exactly,
like,
man.
Even if it's like good, well, maybe they probably know it's good because they have a whole team of investors behind it too, right? Like telling them what to do. So it's kind of like, it sucks talking about these people sometimes, like the Trumps and everything, because you think that they have so much knowledge, and when it really comes down to it, they just have a team, right? Even Elon Musk, he's a smart guy, but like, how much is he actually connected to a lot of the stuff he's doing other than just hiring scientists and the biggest minds to do things?
And telling him, giving him financial advice and whatnot, right? Exactly.
Isn't the Gates Foundation supposed to all be about like a greener future and taking care
saving
of
the world,
environment?
Yeah,
and she's got like 400,000 shares of this fucking coal burning fucking train that crosses the whole country, right? I find that really funny. That's hilarious, man.
Well, that's true in the whole Bitcoin thing too. It's just like this imaginary digital money that on paper it sounds like, oh, this is great, this must be so environmentally friendly because there's no physical medium to it. And then you realize it takes so much energy to produce the encryptions needed to produce every little fraction of it, that it costs more than regular money to make.
Exactly.
Yeah, the Bitcoin mining thing and people running those vacant buildings full of servers to mine it is still a little
I'm not paying my power bill.
It's still a little like mind-boggling to me. Like, I don't fully understand it, and I think we were talking about this a little bit before we started, but it's Bitcoin or the virtual currencies just in general, they 100% offer a lot of upsides, but also because there's no governing authority to it. There's no one keeping control, and there is downsides, and there's no one there to regulate those downsides, and that's why you see Elon Musk makes a fucking wisecrack about Dogecoin or something like that on SNL, and the whole currency tanks. Like if I don't know, if Trump goes on the news and says the Canadian currency is garbage, it doesn't drop 20 cents the next day, right? Like,
exactly, because all the countries, like, all the currencies are all balanced, they're all being protected, and there's this crazy like balance they've been doing forever, and it's just the coins, the cryptocurrency just isn't part of that yet. So
I don't understand how he, like you said, Elon or even a celebrity can make a comment and then things drop or things spike. Like, I wonder how, like, is it because people buy lots of it or sell lots of it, and that's why the price drops? Like, I don't 100% understand it too. It's kind of like this.
That's exactly it. People sell their shares and it tanks.
So people.
I think it's a cascade effect too, right? You get the people who don't really understand, who are just kind of mindlessly investing, and then they hear one negative thing, and they're really just like, pull it out right away, and then intelligent investors say, "Oh, look, I see this downward trend starting, something's going wrong, I'll pull my money before it gets really bad." And then everybody starts pulling theirs.
Everyone
right?
panics.
Exactly.
Everyone investing off their emotions and not off of their actual beliefs, right?
Well, that being said too, the fact that a couple of these billionaires can do so much damage for something like that, the fact that Elon Musk could call his buddies the day before SNL, be like, sell your Bitcoin, and then the next day make an announcement, and those guys just capitalized, and all the regular public just who's invested, who has to pull their money or is going to, like, loses, right? So,
and it does make sense because Elon still has, or Tesla still has, like I think he sold 100 million shares, or $100 million. So they still have like $1.4 billion in Bitcoin. So why not just keep hyping it up, right? Why decrease the value of it? So I don't know. I don't understand.
Well, I think what he was saying was, as soon as the backlash, people said that, well, this isn't a green currency. I think Elon he's really trying to perpetuate that. I'm taking people to Mars. I have clean cars. Everything I do is for the good of humanity. And, more bad press comes out about cryptocurrency not being green at all, and the dirty underworld behind it and stuff, and the possibilities of it. He's just like, he wants to wash his hands of it. I think that's what I'm.
Yeah, I did hear that he was apparently used to be able to buy Tesla with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, and now you can't anymore.
Yeah, he paused
it. Nagged on that recently.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that was his reaction to what you were saying, Andy. Just a way of, I don't know, slowing the brakes a little bit on everything that's going on. So
exactly, and countries are starting to ban it. Certain countries are starting to ban it. China banned it. That's why there was a big dip. But yeah, a few countries are trying to ban it.
But then again, China bans a lot of stuff that they don't like.
I saw this funny quote where this guy was in China, a Chinese guy, and he was, I think I'm gonna butcher this, but the guy said, "Oh, what's your ideology on this?" And he literally says, "I can't comment," or something like that, and which is true, because you can't. If you comment something, you pretty much get slaughtered there in China.
Yeah.
If you say something against the
political spectrum.
Yeah, they'll hunt you down, man. It's sketchy. It's crazy over there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, going back to Bitcoin. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like that. I was watching some videos because with the whole COVID-19, there was a Chinese scientist that worked in the Wuhan Institute, and at the very beginning of the pandemic, she said, "There's no way this came from bats. This came from the institute there because." Yeah. And that's when China and the U.S. they kind of said, "No, this came from a bat. This came from the." Yeah, I heard there's investigations.
Yeah, a lot of people are trying to investigate into what the real cause was of COVID-19. And
because
they're going more towards a lab.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, it's become it's totally shifted in a year where all the scientists and everything agreed that it came from these animals, and now that it's all kind of come to a conclusion where everyone's saying no, this is a genetically created virus. So it's just crazy how scientific
and Wuhan has one of the largest viral labs, or I forget what the term is, virology labs in the world or something like that, or in China.
Well, that's the thing, and a lot of it's funded by certain factions in the States. Even that.
Yeah.
Who's the main
I thought it was wholly
doctor?
funded, right?
Say that again,
I thought it was wholly funded by the U.S.
Oh, was it? I don't know.
and even that big virologist in the U.S., the guy who's in charge of the health, all the
Fauci or whatever, Fauci, that guy.
Yeah, they found out. Fauci, they found out he's super connected with investing into it too, right from the beginning. So, and he's the one who was saying that it couldn't have came from the institute right from the beginning, and he's the number one. So it's just this huge conflict of interest,
huge conspiracy too, man.
Yeah. Well, it's not even conspiracy. It's if you're him and this is something you invested in, you're going to cover your ass and you're going to pretend he's one of the last.
He's been off though, even just the whole mask thing. He was telling people not to wear masks, and then he's like, "All right, everyone wear masks." He's missed the mark a few times. But yeah, that's crazy that he's an investor in this in this lab.
Yeah,
crazy, man.
Yeah, I didn't hear that one before. I think our government is I think Trudeau proposed another inquiry or something like that into it to try and find the real cause. Because they sent a bunch of people from the UN. I don't know if you guys heard about that. But it took them a while, but they sent a team of people who just basically represented the United Nations down there to go and investigate, but it sounds like they didn't really give them full access to everything. They just kind of did their China thing to.
Well, the crazy part is all the FBI has to do is be like, because if the States is funding this institute, like, there's records of everything they've been working on, every, type of virus, pretty much every strain of it, because they have to prove the work they're doing. So it's just like, but also, this should be available
at this point, because it's been so long. Like, if after 6 months you felt that you were really implicated, you gonna hold on to all those notes, right? No, they probably were incinerated like a year ago. If somebody was implicated,
wipe the system.
I'm not gonna be like, let me hold on to this one thing that proves I'm guilty. Right? I'm just gonna get rid of it.
Let's dig more into this. So, do you think that they in the lab? Do you think they were trying to find a cure to fight like a really strong virus, or do you think they were trying to make this a weapon? This COVID, or this virus, let's say. What do you guys think?
I don't think necessarily they're making it a weapon, but I think, they have been trying to work on a coronavirus vaccine for a long time. So I think that was part of it. And I think part of it was just manipulating the virus, seeing what they could do to it. I think it's just
and finding cures.
Finding cures for things, finding ways to manipulate organisms and stuff to maybe for the benefit of mankind. So, really hard to speculate how it got out, why it got out, why it was the variant is why it was created the way it was. But
I heard from rumors and again, just listening to podcasts, that I heard 2 lab techs got sick, and then they it was unnoticed, and that's how it kind of became. So.
And that's the thing, and they hid that too. They said it started in the market, someone who ate food in the market, and it was obviously 2 or 3 lab techs that were the first people that got sick, and that's actually recorded. So
interesting. What about you, Paul? Do you think it's like a bioweapon, or do you think they're just more focused on cures and testing and whatnot?
I'm sure it would be fun to say it was some sort of
Resident
mass weapon of destruction. They're trying to poison the world, and only Asian people are immune to the virus or something crazy like that. But no, I'm kind of along the same lines with Andy. I think it's a little bit too of what Andy was getting at, is kind of like the human naivety of it all, where we think we can just let's just play with the virus, let's see what we can do to amplify it, make it stronger, what we can do to make it weaker, and then if we make it stronger, let's see if we can kill it. Or and they're just playing with it to the point where it becomes something bigger than what they can actually control. And I mean, I can tell you too, if we had to wear our masks perfectly and sanitize perfectly all the time too, and one screw up would have caused us to get sick, I would have been sick 1,000 times. Oh, you're not supposed to touch the outside of your mask? I do that every 20 minutes to adjust my mask on my face, right? And so if the scientists working in that lab are even if they're 100 times better than me at that stuff, the chance that they're making a mistake once every couple weeks or something like that is still pretty damn good. And it only takes one fuck up for them to get it. But
to start a pandemic.
But if the thing Andy said is true, where because I didn't know that either, that the first couple people who got sick were the lab techs, and it's
is that proven, or is that conspiracy?
You all had lasagna last night?
That is a fact. Yeah, that's proven.
I don't know. Just to say, you guys all had bat soup yesterday? It must have been the bats, right?
Exactly. I've been waiting this whole time for them to find more bats that have the same strain of virus, right? Because that's the thing. This is a virus that has to slowly mutate in a bat for a while until it can become transmittable to a human. So it's not something that happened once in the food market over a couple hours. It is So there should be more of these bats around, and they never found them. So I think that's another part too that made it a little hard to dispute.
I heard something a little gross about just because bats are so dirty and carry so many diseases
flying rats.
And stuff like that.
They're literally flying rats.
I don't know. I was probably listening to another podcast, Too Young, and somebody was saying that the way it transmits a lot of times, because we're not really handling bats a lot, but they said, people go to visit the caves where all the bats are at, and of course they go during the day. All the bats are sleeping in the top of the cave, so they say, hey, look up, there's like 100 bats sitting on the ceiling. And the bats piss and shit down, and people look up and they get all the fecal matter falls on their face, and that's how they get sick. And that's how they carry it out with them, right?
Call that a guano bomb.
It's a shitty way to go.
Bat cave tourism just took a big dip. No one's gonna be doing any more cave tours.
Sorry, Carl's bad caverns. My bad.
Do you think Batman talked normal till he got some guano in his throat? And he was like, Jesus.
Yeah, they're gonna hold the Batman movie for a while now. At the end of it though, I know again it's there's a lot of negative with the pandemic and all this, but do you think because of this incident that humans are stronger now because of the vaccine? Like you said, like they were testing about all these viruses and trying to find cures. Do you think that longevity of the humans now are stronger against future coronaviruses?
Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, I definitely think it is. I mean, we've already had, I don't know if you guys remember back when SARS first came into the news, when people were getting envelopes full of white powder delivered to them in the mail.
And shit.
Anthrax. Like that shit was scary, right? And then after that, there was MERS, which was like a Middle Eastern version of it, or something like that. And then
mosquito
this is
transmittable.
And then this is the second SARS. That's why it's called SARS-CoV-2, right? So if the vaccine for this, obviously none of us got the first two, but if the vaccine for this even gives you a little bit of immunity over the first two, the original SARS and the MERS, and then it would probably give us one, if there's 3, there's probably 100 more that we don't know about. So even just a little bit of immunity, I don't know. I can't see it being a bad thing.
We have a general prototype now for SARS. Immunization, so that's good. And I see good and bad. I see the human ingenuity of being able to quickly get on top of a virus. Fast forward 10 years of trying to figure out something for SARS, not being able to, with all the minds in the world, working on it kind of recreationally because it wasn't a huge pandemic, but within a handful of months of throwing every resource in the book at it, they got it. So I see that as a positive, but I also see the negative of no world controlling government to actually when these companies created these antiviruses, these immunizations, to not kind of get them to share the blueprint, to have more production, more distribution quicker, and say, hey, you know what, like, you guys are going to get paid, you're going to line your pockets, but this is a global issue. And like if we wait for you guys to do your production in your controlled environments and stuff the way you want to, we're still going to have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of more people that died that we could have saved. And I think that's not being addressed, and I think that's the thing that bugs me the most, because we're held accountable individually. Wear your mask, isolate, but the big businesses that are kind of really running things and dictating things, they're not really held accountable for that as much. So
people making money off this.
I will say, to touch on that too, like Andy said, there's a lot of news stations that are saying that, all these smaller countries, the Middle Eastern countries and stuff like that, and some of the Asian countries, if they have like a 5% vaccine rate, and the rest of the world has a 60% vaccine rate, it could be detrimental because the virus could get there and it could mutate and it could just come back to us, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And a lot of the news is talking about that and almost saying like these African countries really need to get their act together, but nobody is saying, hey, these companies making the vaccine should be sharing the patent to all of these facilities that can make it, and then we can just ship them out all over the world. Like, why not just pour your resources into actually fixing the problem? It's almost as if all the governments don't want to piss off the pharmaceutical companies because they might not send the vaccines to their respective country, and then they're the bad guy, right?
Well, that's exactly what it is, Paul. It's the countries are united. So if the state stands up and says, hey, you got to do this, and the other countries, like, they're too timid with it, then there's no power. It has to be like all the world power countries have to be like, we have to hold these guys accountable. So
like the G7 countries, right?
So this could be just growing pains, right? But now it's like, next time there shouldn't be an excuse. We should have these factories in every country. There should be plans set. And if there's another pandemic, I don't think you should have 4 companies making trillions of dollars off people's health, right? So
exactly. Yeah, lesson learned for sure, hey, having a global pandemic. But I think you're right, Andy. Next time, if this ever happens again, I think most countries most developing countries will probably be vac ready and can manufacture vaccines. Have you guys heard of COVAX? Have you guys heard of COVAX? Going back to COVAX, COVAX. So it's an organization, I think, created by, like you said, kind of like a group of developed countries or like a neutral entity. And they take funding from like the U.S., Canada. Like we contributed tons of vax or money to COVAX. And what they do is they take a bunch of vaccines and then share it with third world countries or countries that can't afford to vaccinate. So there's an organization that actually was developed to do that. And even just the demand, not even just the money. Like so if Canada gets 200 or 2 million vaccines, a quarter of that, or I'm just throwing some numbers, a quarter of that will go to COVAX so they could share it with the other countries. So it's nice that COVAX was developed to help the other countries. But like you said,
that's awesome.
Hopefully, if this ever happens again, pandemic, other countries are just ready to produce vaccinations and distribute them.
I mean, it's good that they recognize the problem. It's just it's like trying to stop a tidal wave with one sandbag or something like that. It's if the response isn't adequate enough, then it's kind of like, well, it's a nice thought, but it doesn't matter, right? So
for sure. And I hear about these, there's these factories. You hear about how bad India got hit, and like, people are dying left and right, and it's like, then I hear that they have these factories in these third world countries, and some of them are brand new with brand new equipment, and they're sitting there waiting. Like, if you give us the blueprint for a vaccine, we can produce millions and millions. Like now.
Yeah, some of them, like the one that I heard about in India, it sounded like it could produce more than the ones in Europe and the ones in the States. Like it sounded just unreal, like state of the art. Fucking Wakanda factory just pumping out vaccines all day. But it's just empty.
I heard like all new like German equipment, just like clean like hallways, just like everything is just I
wonder
like,
why.
Off the line.
I wonder, like, again, we're not logistical experts or subject matter experts. I wonder why it takes so long. There must be like a huge plan, or it must take, I don't know. It must take more than just a snap of your finger to start manufacturing vaccines.
Well, I think it's because I think it's because, like, in Canada we don't produce like cell phones. There's some things we don't produce, right?
Exactly.
And it's like, I think that's like India. Like, they have maybe top of the line world class medical facilities, but they don't have scientific facilities that work on viruses, maybe. So they're missing
scientists.
part of it.
Exactly. They have to invest. Maybe their government needs to invest people to focus on that, or
for sure.
Weird. Sticking with Rich corporations. Amazon bought MGM, and we kind of discussed this in our group chat.
Yeah.
But what's
Crazy.
your guys' take? $8.5 billion for MGM.
Well, they're buying airplanes. They're buying casinos. Like,
they're going to space. Yeah, man.
Fuck, man. Like, when is... I don't know. Like,
when is it enough, right?
when is Bezos just gonna buy Canada and buy the UK and buy Paris and stuff? Like, is he just gonna own the whole planet? Like, I don't get it, man. Like, his billions make billions, right? Like, and he buys more stuff, and the stuff he buys makes more money, right? Like.
MGM must have been hurting, though. MGM must have been desperate or hurting for them to agree to
I don't know. To sell for billions of dollars, right? Yeah. There's a board of directors at the top, and they're all 55 years old. And somebody says, hey, if we make this deal, you'll all get $100 million. Enjoy the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, I'm taking that deal, right? Yeah. So I don't really blame them for selling it, especially given the fact that $8 billion, I mean, ridiculous. I'm sure the stagehand who's holding the boom mic isn't getting any of that $8 billion, right? But yeah, I don't know. It's just crazy, man. It feels like he's like, is this Lex Luthor? Like, is he taking over the fucking world or what? I don't know.
Well, you think, it gets to a point where they could virtually own a country, like one business, and the government of that country could be answering to the business, could be a subsidy, could be an employee of that trillionaire, right? So, like, that's, late stage capitalism. Like, we're getting to that point where it's going to be really blurred lines between who's got the power now and who makes the decisions. So
Emperor Bezos.
Now I know there are regulations though to stop monopolization.
Monopolies.
I know there's regulations.
That's
stuff.
The thing, right? There's definitely regulations to stop monopolies, but the thing that I find interesting is he's pretty like diversified, right? If you own the biggest shipping plant and the biggest car manufacturing plant and the biggest movie production plant and say the biggest rail yard, right? Like you're not monopolizing any of those, but you've kind of taken control of everything as a whole by being the major stakeholder in all those things. And he's just got tentacles in everything, right? Literally anything and everything he wants, he can own.
What's the thing? It's exploiting loopholes, right? And it gets to a point where loopholes get more and more exploited. People like even look at Trump, right? The way he goes into strategic bankruptcies and stuff, right? Like it gets to a point where loopholes get exploited so much. And there's more loopholes because they kind of convince politicians to pass more laws with more loopholes, and then it just gets crazy.
I made the comment that Amazon's going to own hotels on the Vegas Strip. You guys think that Amazon's going to do a few things regarding like Vegas?
So he owns then, because MGM Grand in Vegas.
There's a few hotels, Mirage, I think.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it like MGM and Caesar's Palace and stuff like that are all owned by MGM Group?
Yeah.
Right? And so, I mean,
have an Amazon Prime slot machine. Hey,
you take your Amazon drone.
Yeah,
it's just gonna grab your shirt and just carry you to the next hotel.
Play roulette with some Amazon tokens. Yeah, man.
I know, man.
It's crazy.
Watching the fountain at the the Venetian, or no? Where's the fountain at?
Oh, there's a few fountains. Yeah. But I know what you're saying.
Big fountain show. It just shows like it just spells Amazon out.
It's got the smile. Yeah, shooting water.
I just want to go play the slot machine where I get 5 Bezos heads in a row and
$5 Bezos dollars. Yeah.
Bezos bucks.
Yeah, Bezos.
Win $1 million Amazon bucks in my house.
You get free shipping finally.
Speaking of Vegas, you guys see that new zombie movie on Netflix?
Oh yeah, I did. I wanted to talk about that. It was good. Did you watch it, Paul?
Army of the
I
Dead.
haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
I heard it
Won't
was.
spoil it.
I heard it was good.
Yep.
And but it's 2.5 hours long though.
It's long.
Yeah. They try to develop like the intros of the characters. I didn't mind it though. It didn't feel like 2.5 hours long to me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know.
I really think like they they made it like a heist movie, right? So yeah, they developed the characters and the plot for what they're gonna do, how they're gonna get into this place, but with the zombies around it. So I think that's what.
Yeah.
Don't you ruin this for me. It's on my list.
It's awesome, and I love Batista as an actor. I think he's just getting better and better. Like
yeah.
See him in Blade Runner 2049. Like he's such a good actor, probably the best wrestler turned actor I can see, except for The Rock's good in some roles, but I really think Batista's like getting in there fast.
He's diversifying.
Yeah, I heard I seen an interview with Batista where he was talking about his role as Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, with Ellen.
And he was talking about how the third Guardians is his last time playing Drax or whatever. And he said it was because he said he's getting too old to play characters with his shirt off because it's too hard for him. So it's nice to hear a guy who's like your definition of the big monster wrestler guy also being like, it's too hard to be fit.
Yeah, he was on Ellen. He was on Ellen when he said that. And speaking of Ellen, Ellen's canceling her show. But going back to more
Batista. Controversy there too.
Yeah, we can dip into that after. But I want to stay on Batista for a second. But you know what? I think Batista wants star roles. I don't think he likes being the support kind of star. I think he wants.
Yeah.
I think that was his excuse, that he wants to get out of Marvel or being Drax because of that.
Yeah.
I don't really buy in the I'm too old, I don't want my shirt, because there's rumors, or I don't know if it's truthful, but Fast and Furious franchise wanted him, but he denied it, and he wanted to star in his own Gears of War movie. He pitched that instead. Yeah.
I heard that too, and I think he does have. I don't know if he's as an elite of an actor as he might think he is.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a good actor, and I do think he's good enough to carry a movie.
Yeah.
He's he's done the comedy roles, and he's done the action roles and the things that you would associate with him.
Yep.
Although I can't, with how big Marvel's gone, I don't really respect anyone who's like upset about their role in a Marvel movie, right? Like everything in a lot of the Marvel movies is so well thought out, and everybody plays their part, no matter how big or small it is. And even the smallest characters are getting their own Funko Pops and their own devoted fan base and everything like that. So
but if Marvel,
no matter how much,
I was gonna say, if Marvel gave Drax his own movie or Batista his own movie, I think he would have stayed as Drax for sure.
I think so. I think he'd be back in a heartbeat for that. For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to sneak away from the comic relief role, and he just wants to do some serious drama. All the power to him. And I think it's really smart avoiding kind of a dying franchise like the Fast and the Furious, because now that The Rock and Jason Statham have kind of pulled out back to Vin Diesel. I don't think Vin Diesel's a great actor, and I think Batista would have been an incredible bad guy in the next one. He might have put some life into it. Him and Charlize Theron, Charlize Theron is an incredible actress, but watching the new trailer with John Cena as the bad guy now, it is. I just cringe, man.
It's bad.
John Cena's just not a good actor, and he just pulls me out of the whole thing. And I'm like, Vin Diesel used to be kind of the questionable actor in that, and now it's like John Cena's like, oh, so bad.
The trailer's horrible.
Well, supposedly the new Fast and Furious movie is actually supposed to be pretty good.
Oh, I find him so tacky.
But I mean, just to have a series where first The Rock's in it, and then John Cena's in it, and then you're going to come in with Batista in it. Like, are we watching wrestling, or are we watching action movie? Right?
Vince McMahon should fucking buy the whole franchise.
Just let Ric Flair pull up in a car. Fuck it, right?
Have you guys seen the picture of John Cena and remember the Ernest movies? Ernest Goes Camping.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you seen? Young, you should pull that picture up. It's John Cena and Ernest, and how much they look similar, and you'll never take Cena as a serious actor again.
Yeah, the first time I seen him with the longer hair, it was so peculiar. I'm so used to his like military buzz cut that he always wears, right? Mm-hmm. It almost looks like a toupee or something, but I could see the Ernest resemblance too. I love those movies when I was a kid.
Oh, nothing Ernest. No, not on Facebook. Maybe on YouTube.
Oh, just Google just a picture like Cena Ernest, just those two words, and it'll be first thing.
Yeah, I just can't show.
I think it's funny enough to pull up.
I just can't. I just can't pull it up in our. Like Paul won't be able to see it. I can see it only on my computer, but. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his face. Yeah, their faces are pretty good. He's got all the wrinkles and whatnot. Yeah, going back to the Fast and Furious, just when they showed John Cena and then the female characters, like, oh, that's Dom's brother. I was like, oh my god, it's just too much.
It's like a soap opera, right?
Yeah.
Like
it's Dom's
just
brother.
Comes in 10 movies, 11 movies later with his random brother.
Oh, have a brother.
There you go, Andy.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you, have a brother. There you go. Yeah. If John Cena did an Ernest, like a prequel, like becoming
Ernest. He should just
Ernest.
embrace it. Yeah. He should embrace it. Just do an Ernest movie.
Yeah.
And try to do some comedy, because like Cena's not, I don't think he's a great actor, so stick to comedy. Do kind of what Channing Tatum did a bit.
Yeah.
Even what like back and forth. Oh, what's his name from Ted? Why can't I think of his name?
Oh, Seth
the main
MacFarlane.
actor.
Or Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, like
yeah.
You got to embrace that side, and I think Batista did that, and I think the funnier you can be, the more dramatic you can be. It seems like I don't know, it's weird. But.
Well, he's in the new Suicide Squad too, and I think he's supposed to be comedic in that one. He's kind of a comedic action star in that one. So
yeah, I seen a scene from the new Suicide Squad where he made a joke in it as his character, and it made me laugh. So
yeah.
Well, if you think about it, like these ensemble movies are pretty popular right now, right? Like all the superhero movies and everything.
Yeah.
It's pretty normal for a movie to come out to have 5 or 10 characters as a group going to fight some evil or do something, right?
Exactly.
You know, even just think about all the movies we talked about, the Marvel movies, the Suicide Squad, that Army of the Dead movie, the Guardians of the Galaxy, every movie is 5 or 6 people, Fast and the Furious, right? Going to some event.
Oh yeah, now we're gonna have the multiverse movies. They're gonna have 3 times as many people.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane.
Popping in and out.
It's gonna be insane.
3 sets of groups from 3 movies.
You won't be bored, that's for sure. Going back to Batista's acting though, you'll see he's, like you said, you've seen the action side of him, Paul, and the comedic side of him through Drax. But in the Army of the Dead, he does a bit more drama, I guess you could say. Yeah, he shed some tears.
Oh, man. I've loved him. I don't know if you guys have seen like the man with the golden fist or whatever. That spaghetti western.
That Wu-Tang movie from
long time ago. Long time
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but yeah, it was a while back.
And Batista was like basically Colossus, where he would turn into like a golden golem to fight or whatever. His skin would go metallic.
Yeah.
He was terrifying in it. He was awesome. And then the Hotel Artemis movie came out, and he's in that, and he's awesome. Ooh. And oh man, I'm just a huge fan. I've seen most of the stuff now. And
you have to watch that Hotel Artemis. I totally forgot about that.
That's got Jeff Goldblum and a bunch of other good actors in it. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I've been meaning to watch that one too. That one's on Netflix as well.
Hotel Artemis. Might have to watch that after this.
A lot of movies to catch up on.
Do it.
Yeah, man.
And in a month or so, ish, the movie theaters might be opening back up.
That's
so you might be able to finally go and see a actual movie in a movie theater for the first time in like 2 years.
What's your first movie you would catch?
I don't know. Well, around that time, if the new Spider-Man movie comes out,
it's got to be a blockbuster, eh? It's got to be like a big blockbuster movie.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably some movies that came out right now. Like if that Army of the Dead movie came out right now in the theaters were open. You think it would go to the theaters? Like probably,
it is
right?
in the theaters.
Oh,
right now in the States, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean something like that. Even Misty mentioned to me the other day, Cruella just came out, the Emma Stone Cruella movie.
Yeah.
And like probably would have went to see that at some point, right? Just
it looks lame to me. I wouldn't pay to watch that.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested to see how they're gonna humanize like a dog killing woman, like how they're gonna make get the crowd kind of behind her, like we're cheering for you.
I don't know if there's gonna be the dog killing in it, to be honest. I think she might just have Dalmatians based off the trailer that I seen. Like,
but you know, in the sequel, she wants to kill dogs. So like, that's all I'm going to be thinking of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Have you guys watched Devil? Have you guys watched Devil Wears Prada? It's a very chick flick.
Yeah, long time ago.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like that. So innocent girl works for like a kind of a diva asshole bitch of a of a boss, and then she kind of gets those traits. She becomes like a diva asshole, whatever. And I think that's what Cruella's going to be.
The thing is, when I seen the trailer, that was the first thing that I thought of.
Yeah, Devil Wears Prada, right?
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah.
And then once I heard the trailer, the whole trailer is narrated by Emma Stone. And like one of her first popular movies was that Easy A movie where she was like a high school student.
Yeah.
And that whole movie, she was just narrating her journey.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little... it feels kind of like a rehash, It feels a little clumsy and stuff like that. But I don't know. Obviously, I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know for sure. But
yeah. What about you, Andy? What movie would you first go watch once theaters open?
Well, I'm like so jacked up. It's good you brought up the Spider-Man thing because I'm so torn between what I'm more excited for, the multiverse Spider-Man movie or the Flashpoint DC multiverse movie.
Yeah.
Where they're gonna have Batman and they're gonna bring in Michael Keaton Batman, and like,
I did hear something about that.
And like, so I don't know, man. Like, I know Marvel's gonna kill it. The Spider-Man's gonna be good. Like Tobey Maguire coming back, hopefully Willem Dafoe. Like,
and that's coming out this year, eh? That's Spider-Man 3. That is it this year?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh shit,
I think so.
Dang.
But there's just something about Tim Burton's Michael Keaton Batman, like the ultimate superhero coming back. And after seeing Michael Keaton as the Vulture in the last Spider-Man, I think he was the scariest villain I've ever seen. Like he
plays good bad guys
so well.
Yeah,
when I found out that the main villain was the Vulture, I was so disappointed. I was like, the Vulture from the old cartoons from when you were a kid. Vulture was just absolute garbage. Like he was just a bald guy. He was super skinny. He was almost like emaciated. And he had just like actual feather wings, right? And Michael Keaton just absolutely blew me away. He was, like Andy said, he was terrifying.
Marvel made him such a badass. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you know what other movie was supposed to come out this year was The Matrix 4.
Oh.
That one was supposed to be out already, but I don't know when they pushed it back to.
Yeah.
Wow.
That one we good one too.
Yo, censor nonsense. Censor nonsense. Matrix 4. Do you think they should have stopped at 3? What do you guys think?
Well, can I go first, Paul?
Yeah, go ahead, Paul. Or go ahead, Andy.
Yeah.
After watching John Wick, I think it was the third one with a Lawrence Fishburne in it as like the pigeon guy, like the up on the Seeing those two back together, because I was like, the last Matrix was kind of like, okay, by the third one you're like, you shouldn't even have this third one, it's just not good.
Exactly.
But seeing him and Lawrence Fishburne together after so many years in that John Wick movie, I was like, we could do another Matrix. Like, hopefully the Wachowski brothers, sisters or whatever, hopefully they're just like, they've been thinking about it for like 15 years and they got like this amazing plot figure.
I hope they do it justice, man. I hope they do it justice.
Yeah.
What about you, Paul?
I just recently rewatched all 3 Matrix movies, so it is very fresh in my mind.
Nice.
And I will say, like when the movies originally came out, I was in my teenage years, and a lot of the stuff was like way over my head. I did not understand it at all. And rewatching it was great because all of the kind of big existential stuff really makes sense to me now. I appreciate it a lot more. However, at the end of the third movie, pretty much everyone important fucking dies. So, you know, it's like, I really, like, the way I look at it in my mind is it was something really, really great.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have that asterisk next to it.
That
it was great, except, but, you know, the fourth one. So I know it wasn't for money. Like, nobody really needs money. I read an article where they said one of the Wachowskis had no interest in doing it, and the other sister just wrote basically the most amazing script in the world.
Interesting.
And when the other sister read it, that was what convinced her that it was worth doing.
Interesting.
And that was kind of like, the script was so good that it got everyone on board.
Yeah.
So I'm optimistic for it, but worried.
Actually, since you say that, I like Keanu Reeves. I don't think he just does any movie, so it must have been really good for him to say yes to it. You know what I mean? So it must be really good, well written for him to say yes.
Yeah, that's legacy there.
Yeah, he's riding really high right now. Like, he did all these John Wick movies, and the Wick movies are fantastic. And then he finally did Bill and Ted, which was a big deal for a lot of people. And he seemed like he really had a lot of fun doing it because he's been doing all these serious movies for so long. So yeah, he kind of had the power in his court, and yeah, like you said, I don't think he had to do it. So hopefully he just seen something really special about it.
Yeah, that's hope.
Like, I wouldn't be upset if they even did an offshoot Matrix movie. Do you guys remember when that Matrix animated movie came out?
All those short stories,
short clips.
Yeah, I like those.
I think those were so amazing, and you're keeping the world alive, and you're tapping into different areas. And I think, why beat a dead horse? Like Paul said, there's so many of the main characters dead and stuff. It's like, do an offshoot, expand the world kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, is that if you just bring all the characters back to life, it takes away from the significance of them dying in the third movie, and that's what I'm worried about, right? It's the big truck ending where, and then a truck came through the wall and killed everyone. The end, right? Like,
it was all a dream.
It's not satisfying at all.
It'll be interesting to see.
We'll see, I guess.
Oh, the blockbuster movie that I wanted to catch though is actually the last James Bond. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, yeah.
But it's been delayed. It's been delayed for a couple of years now because I think they want to sell it in theaters. I think it was a big budget movie, and MGM wanted to make their money back. So, but now it's Amazon. So
Never Say Die. I don't know.
Something like that. Yeah, No Time to Die or some shit. But it looks good, and I love Daniel. What's his name?
Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig. Yeah. And I think that's his last role as. Because he said he wasn't even gonna do this Bond movie. Oh, really?
And then it was kind of like his last hurrah, and so he decided to come back for one last one.
Interesting.
I'm curious who you think would be a good, because James Bond will continue until long after we're gone.
Yeah.
So after Craig's done, and he's been a really good James Bond, who do you think they should go with as next?
Before we answer that, can I say, for sense or nonsense, should they carry on with 007, or should they use a different agent and expand the universe too?
Maybe if they did one-off, like if they did like a one-off movie.
Yeah, I think they could, but I think they would always inevitably come back to 007.
Yeah, I think they should.
Because I know there was the speculation for like a black female actress, and there was like a big controversy of it, and like I was like thinking of some of the people, and I was like, well, like there's so many great people that could be 007, but it's like, why do like? And I guess I'll answer Paul's question. I'd pick a Michael Fassbender for like the next 007. Someone not as physical as Daniel Craig, but like a great classical actor, bring the cool and suaveness back a little bit, because they kind of like to do that with the 007. But
Fassbender is amazing. I fucking love watching that guy's movies. Absolutely love him.
He's a good actor.
He's my pick.
If anybody doesn't know who Michael Fassbender is, he's fucking Magneto. That should it's Magneto, all right?
Magneto.
And the Assassin's Creed guy too.
Oh, I haven't watched that movie. But I going back to your question, Andy, I think they should do like a one-off, like a 008 or Agent 008, and then the movie after that relate the two. Get James Bond and 008 or whatever other agent. Yeah.
Do another collab movie with a group of people. It's perfect. You get 008, 009, 006
Or what if James Bond bumps into like Jason Bourne? Hey? Get real fucking crazy.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Young, who do you think would be a good next 007?
Well, yeah, I heard the rumor. I heard the rumor of a black female, but also Idris Elba, a black agent. I heard Idris Elba was a rumor.
Yeah, he's incredible too.
Man, there's so
legendary.
Did you guys watch like what's that called? Holy shit! What's the show? I can't even think about it. The name of it. Big show with dragons and like.
Not Lord of the Rings.
Not Lord of the Rings. The TV show.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, there's so many like good English actors in the Game of Thrones that could probably be like the next agents. But yeah, as long as the actor is English, I don't really care.
I don't know, like
Henry Cavill.
Well, I guess like Sean Connery was Scottish, Pierce Brosnan was British. Does that all count as long as you're from the UK?
Yeah, as long as you're from the UK. Yeah, what about Henry Cavill, or is he just too big? He's too big.
You know what? Actually, the best rumor I heard for 007 was Henry Cavill.
Yeah?
He would probably be my guy. That's the guy who played Superman.
Yeah.
And who played The Witcher, right? And
I follow a lot of comments, and they say, Cavill and Idris Elba are two of the most chosen people. And a lot of people are actually picking, who's the guy who plays Venom? I can't believe I can't think of his name.
Hardy. Hardy or Tom Hardy?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
There's quite a few people that were kind of pushing for him too. So.
Yeah. Well, the thing I like about 07 is, or James Bond is, I like that he's kind of like an average guy. You know what I mean? He's not like too jacked. That's why I don't like Henry Cavill, because I think he's too jacked and too big. They should just find like a, not scrawny, but like a Fassbender kind of body type for
that's why I think Fassbender is such a good suggestion, because he is kind of like that, athletic but still modest,
slim,
in a sense, right?
Yeah.
He's not Idris Elba, who's just absolutely jacked, like huge shoulders and shit.
Well, and that's the thing. And Daniel Craig was the guy jumping from a building to a crane, 007. So going to a buff, strong action, more of an action hero, 007. I think that's jumping the gun. I think you want to go down to like either a super techie, nerdy 007 or a suave, classical actor, like kind of 007 again. So.
And you look at Jason Bourne. Like Jason Bourne looks like a regular dude, not a jacked guy. Mission Impossible. Ethan, I think
Tom
Ethan
Cruise,
Hawke.
Ethan Hunt,
Yeah, he's just like a regular, not like too jacked or anything. Yeah, I think for a superhero or like a action hero, you need someone like that.
But Andy's right too. When they do the reiterations of these movies, whoever comes in as the director next has to like paradigm shift it a little bit so it doesn't feel like the same movie.
Yeah.
And so it reminds me of Batman, right? Like when they went to, oh God, who's the guy who did The Dark Knight?
Oh,
Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan, yeah.
He was the director, but the actor, why
Christian
can't I think
Bale.
of his name?
Bale,
Christian Bale, yeah.
Christian Bale, yeah.
So Christian Bale was like the super, like, I don't know, mean, like aggressive kind of in the dark,
it was different.
Yeah,
you gotta evolve the character.
Yeah, and then they switched it to Affleck, and Affleck was like the buff guy with like all the gadgets and stuff like that.
He was huge.
And now it's gonna be Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
He's like the the noir, like crime solving,
Yeah.
like old detective type Batman. And I don't know, the only thing that I worry about with Idris Elba is the paradigm shift just that he's black? Like, are they just picking him because he's black? Like, it just seems.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's some people that think of it that way. Even though he's a good actor and I like his stuff, I think sometimes with like the minority decisions that some of the people make, they just make them because they feel like they should make them,
exactly,
not because it's the right move to make. Right?
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, yeah, and that's why I like Young's idea of like having an offshoot, because I don't know if you guys have seen Charlize Theron in Atomic Blonde, that spy movie.
Yeah,
it's incredible. She's like the female like Daniel Craig who just gets like beaten up and like kicks ass the whole movie, and it's like I'm so happy that she wasn't the next 007, but she was the Atomic Blonde, because like it's such a different character. And I think Idris Elba, like, you could make an offshoot agent with him, and he could be such a unique, amazing character. Like,
he's the kind of guy who could probably hold up a trilogy of his own. He doesn't need the 007 moniker. I was just thinking, you know who would be a good 007, or who would have been, would be Chadwick Boseman would have been a good 007.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Black Panther?
Yeah, good idea.
And he did that. He did that movie with the Russo brothers, too, where he's a detective or a police officer. I forgot what it's called. 12 Bridges or something like that? Or.
Oh, yeah, I never seen that one.
Yeah, but he kind of has like that agent kind of style. Yeah, that would be
That's
good.
a good pick, actually. That's a good pick.
They should, you know what? A lot like you see DC, and I think Marvel's going to do it soon, but they're going to start the Suicide Squad. So you're seeing the perspective of the bad guys, I guess you could say, as lead role. For maybe for 007, maybe they could do like a bad guy, and actually as the protagonist, and the antagonist is actually James Bond. That'd be cool.
Or the Secret Service and everything, and showing the corruption and like the Queen's Secret Service. Wow, that's deep, man. I like that.
Have a bad guy as the star, but you got to develop the character where you kind of feel for him, right? You're on his side, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the movie. Yeah.
Well, the last couple villains they've had for like 007, like, you know, Casino Royale, the guy's eyes were bleed. The guy who ate the cyanide and like it like destroyed his jaw, and he was like a little bit like.
He was such a good character, man.
Oh man. So developing a character like that, a whole movie, when they can develop them in like 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Wow.
And you feel for the character because like this agency betrayed you and they burnt your face, so now who's the bad guy? Is it this guy or the agency that trained you, right? So
And I think that's what Marvel's been so good at lately with the Thanos and all the villains. The Michael Keaton too, as they make you feel like they grew up, they had they had family, friends, and something corrupted them, and like you feel for them because you're like, wow, what would I do in their position? Right?
Exactly. Like, and they make you believe that what they're doing is right, and you kind of side with them, right? Yeah, that's why I love Marvel. And I think they're gonna do a Thundercats. Have you heard of Thundercats? Where they kind of they take all the bad guys and they kind of start their own kind of Suicide Squad. So, have you watched all that? Shit. Have you watched the Falcon Winter Soldier, Paul? No, Falcon Winter Soldier.
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay, I won't spoil it then. I won't spoil it, but let's just say that they are gathering some bad guys, and they're all keeping them together. So,
well, that's what you said is really true. Just the way they've kind of, the bad guy used to be. It was always like, oh, it's the German guy because he's German or something. Right?
Give him an accent.
And the German guy wants to kill you because that's what Germans want to do, is to kill you, right? Like there was no real rhyme or reason to it, and
they were just psychotic villains that had no rhyme or reason. They were just evil.
Yeah. He's evil because he's got a scar on his face, and that's why he's evil, right?
And he wants a lot of money. Yeah, they want lots of money.
So definitely the world of film is doing a better job of
writers are doing good,
showing it from the opposite side, which is good, right? Those are the movies that you remember, right? Those are the ones that you go raving about afterwards. I just watched one actually on Prime the other day, that has the actor who plays the Falcon. I don't know why I can't think of his name, but the movie's called Outside the Wire.
Oh yeah.
And it's on Prime, and he plays basically like a super soldier, like a soldier who's just tech.
He's actually like a cyborg. Well,
yeah, he's a cyborg.
Spoilers.
He's like super advanced. No, they reveal it in the first like 20 minutes of the show. So.
Yeah.
And it's in the trailer and shit too. So he's but yeah, I mean, it just looks like kind of your normal war movie. And then I would recommend anybody watch it because it just feels like kind of your normal war story. You know, it's like this cyborg and a normal person in a war scenario, and what are their values and beliefs. But then there's a good like twist ending where it's kind of unexpected, and a lot of those things where you think the people are bad are good, and you think the people are good are bad, and even up until the last 5 minutes of the movie, it's you don't know who you should side with, right? You don't know who's right and who's wrong, and so it's Anthony Mackie, that's what the guy's name is. But I would, that Outside the Wire is worth watching just for the ending of the movie.
Outside the Wire.
Me and Melissa watched it, and because Mackey's kind of got like a triangle head or whatever. Melissa's like, you know what, he kind of actually looks like he could be an android in real life. Like that. No, he sells it good, and he's like, yeah, he's a really good actor. Like he's get him another guy. You get him away from Marvel, and like he can do straight
good actors, man.
Like, yeah,
even
like
his
dramatic acting.
I think he had some good. I saw some of his movies before he even got into like the Falcon character, and yeah, he's a good actor. Actually, going back to your point there about the twists at the end of movies, and this got me thinking of Matrix 4. My mind just kind of goes this way. Yo, but what if Neo is the bad guy, and him destroying all these robots was like all the now.
You know I didn't eat any weed tonight, and I'm happy I didn't, because I'd be on the floor right now.
Yo, imagine if Keanu Reeves. Yo, you know what? Keanu Reeves should play a bad guy. He's always a good guy. He should play a bad guy, and if he did that in Matrix 4, that'd be insane, eh? Wouldn't that be mind-blowing?
Yeah, that'd be unreal.
I think that was one of those. I think that was one of those like fan theories too, where now that you mention it, Yoong, like Agent Smith was a good guy, and Neo is a blimp in the Matrix, and that he was like an issue, and because of him, Neo was eventually going to destroy everything because he's like a corrupt.
He's the virus. He's the virus.
And some of the fan theories for movies just boggle my mind. I don't know if you guys ever heard that like the Harry Potter movies was all like a figment of Harry's imagination. Did you hear that one?
No.
Fuck, man. I read that one and it just...
You went down the rabbit hole.
I enjoyed all the Harry Potter movies, and then I read this fan fiction that was kind of viral after I'd watched the last one. And I watched them years after everybody else probably did. I just watched them all in one binge one night or after a couple nights.
Yeah.
And they basically said that Harry's being abused. He does still live under the stairs in his step-parents' house.
Oh, shit.
And they associated every single character in the movie and all of his powers with like real world stresses and real world characters. It's like this character is his stepmom, this character is his stepdad, this character is like his dead parents, this is the social worker, this is, you know, his toys that he has under the stairs.
Jeez.
And it immediately makes you feel super depressed just by reading it, but it's still possible. So I thought it was fun.
People are creative, man, when they come up with these theories, man.
Well, it's awesome. It really shines light on actual like mental health issues and people living a different two lives or another world inside their head and their perspective on things. So like I love that stuff. And one I really like is the I don't know if you guys have read about this, but the Pixar timeline, that every Pixar movie fits into one timeline in one world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I heard that too.
I didn't hear about that. Share.
It's a string theory where like Cars is like the first movie, and then like because it's like the end of the world. There's like no people left, and then the cars destroy themselves, and then WALL-E's like the next movie, and like it's like rummaging the world, and then the people are in space, and then like Ants is like the next one where plants start to form again, and like it's just crazy.
Dinosaurs.
I spent literally like 2 hours reading this, how they tied everything together, and all the movies have Easter eggs where in like Monsters Inc. they'll have in like Brave, she'll have a doll of one of the characters of Monsters Inc. and stuff, and they show how like the Monsters Inc. monsters can teleport not just into like kids' bedrooms, but back through time and stuff.
Oh,
and like
shit.
it's just super cool.
Dang, man. Dang, that's pretty crazy. I was just thinking, man, Matrix 4, the beginning should be like a robot family and robot kids just playing, and then all I see is Neo come down and just destroy this family, this robot family.
Superhero.
Yeah, that's how the movie begins. And then Neo's the bad guy.
He's super strong, but for some reason he's still using a machete to chop up the robot family.
Agent Smith is with his family.
The whole family, the father, the mother, like the older kids get murdered, and like the baby's laying there, and you can tell the baby's like Agent Smith or whatever. Like,
and then Agent Smith isn't strong enough, so he has to clone himself to fight this asshole they call Neo.
Oh god.
Oh, that'd be good. Yo, we got an hour and 30 minutes of content, man. Any other news or topics you guys want to bring? That was a good session. It was a good chat.
I don't know if you guys want to do a couple best worst, or you just want to do another topic, or what you guys want to do.
I'm good. Do you want to save it? Do you want to save it for a different time?
Yeah, I could save it. Yeah.
Yeah, 9:42. That was good.
Unless Paul wants to do one best or worst.
You want to do one?
Give me one best or worst to close it. Close me out.
Okay, guys. We'll start with the best. What is, in your opinion, the best superhero movie that you've ever seen?
Oh man, that's rough, bro.
It's got to be one superhero.
Yeah, one superhero movie. What's the absolute best? Just checked all the boxes twice for you.
And it can't be like an Avengers, because that's like more than one.
Oh no, it can. Yeah, just a superhero movie. It could, I
think, I'll go here if you want some more time to think, Yoong.
Yeah.
Without overthinking it too much, because I'm sure I could beat it to death in my head, like most people who enjoy those movies could. The first one that pops to my mind is the Captain America Civil War movie. That's the movie where Captain America and Iron Man had the fight scene, or is it Winter Soldier? Is that the one?
No, you're thinking
Winter
Civil War,
Soldier.
Yeah, Iron Man isn't in Winter Soldier, so you're thinking Civil War.
Yeah, Civil War.
Civil War. Yeah, the one where they fight at the end of the movie, where there's that big reveal that Bucky was the one who killed Tony Stark's parents and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was emotional, yeah.
And I think that was the first movie too where you start to get like there's more superheroes, the factions start to separate.
Yeah.
And it was so compelling. There's political issues, there's like physical fights, there's family issues and stuff like that, and I was just captivated. And even now when there's a couple times where I've seen part of the movie just pop up, and I gotta watch the whole thing. And even the main bad guy is just some normal fucking little Russian dude, and his grand plan is just to turn everyone against each other.
Yeah.
And it's so wild, right?
Such a good villain, eh? Yeah.
It is. It's like the best kind of villain, the one who just uses the other person's power against them, right?
Yeah, forces the good guys to fight. Like, how many more movies could you have like that? Like,
exactly.
You don't even need to come up with a new villain.
Yeah, crazy.
All right, for
That's
me,
a good pick. What?
Yeah, I gotta say Endgame. For the movie made me like. I still watch it. I still get goosebumps at certain points. Like it made me cry in the theaters. So I gotta say Endgame. But that build up, like all the characters, even Iron Man 1 was like amazing. Like Civil War was amazing. You're right, Paul. But for the most emotion, like emotional roller coaster, it had to be Endgame for me.
Yeah, the reason why Endgame is so good is because they spent 10 years
building up everyone,
putting time into it to make it so impactful.
22 movies.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You can't beat that. What about you, Andy? What's yours?
Oh, it's tough. I would say probably between Thor, like Ragnarok. I think that's the one with all the Hulk.
Oh yeah, that one's
Planet Hulk and stuff on it.
That one's really
because
good.
the colors, the music, everything's amazing. It's like, but I'll make that my second one. My first one is a Winter Soldier, Captain America.
Oh yeah, that was good too.
How they finally took a character like Captain America, who's so one-dimensional, like Cyclops and a lot of those goody two-shoe guys that are just like, I'm always going to do what's right. And they start tearing apart and forcing him to have flaws, make decisions that there are no right answers for.
Yeah.
And all that going on, and this whole connection of the first time I think they've ever really done it, this military John Wick style tactical movie with superheroes in it, right? Mm-hmm. And there was like the guns and the grenades and the jujitsu, but also like the superpowers, right? Yeah, the fight scenes with just low superhero and strength. And I thought it was done amazingly. Like Iron Man 1 started it with like the firepower and stuff, but it didn't really have that military tactical feeling. It was still superhuman.
Yeah.
Something about Winter Soldier. Yeah, Winter Soldier, it was just like blew me away, that whole movie.
It was good. Yo, outside of the Marvel Studios world, though, I gotta say Logan. Logan was good. How they just wrapped up Wolverine, and I think I cried in that movie too.
About that.
Yeah, outside of
that movie was
Marvel
pretty
Studios,
wild too.
It was a good movie. Yeah, good twists and the characters. Yeah, it was really good.
Well, if we're gonna do that, it's kind of loaded. So I guess maybe we'll do what's the absolute best older superhero movie, since we're all picking modern ones.
Older.
Pick something out from your childhood or growing up, something that really did it for you, got you into the whole idea of it.
Did you guys ever see? There's a movie called, I'm pretty sure it was just called Chronicle.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You remember that one? Yeah. It was like 3 or 4 teenagers who basically touched some alien thing, got superpowers, and then one of them, they were all like less popular kids, but the one of them was like terrible home life, severely bullied, like the kind of kid you would assume would be like, the kid who's planning to shoot up his school kind of thing. I know that's kind of insensitive, but
true.
That's the portrait they portray for the character, right? Is that
real
he's like
dark,
severely bullied, and that's exactly what happens. Is the one kid who's a little bit unstable becomes more powerful, starts to use his powers, and the more he uses his powers, the stronger he becomes. And he basically just turns himself into this. He's an ordinary kid, and he turns himself into this super villain. And for not being associated, like that movie is quite a bit older. Like, I want to say 2000 or something, but I don't know. But for not being associated with any, it's hard not to be a Marvel or a DC and do a good superhero movie, Another one that would probably be in that list where it's not associated with those would be the Incredibles movies. The animated ones. Fuck, man, those were fun to watch.
Incredibles is good. Good writers.
You got Watchmen too. Yeah, that's another like anti-hero.
Watchmen. Man, I loved the Watchmen. That was a good one too.
You want to change your?
I haven't watched that movie in such a long time.
Change your pick. Zack Snyder, man. Zack Snyder.
What about you, Young?
Would Matrix be a superhero? Since we were talking about Matrix,
I think you could say that.
Matrix 1.
You could pick something else if you want.
1999, man. Matrix 1. Even just my experience of going to the theater and watching it with my whole family, because there was so much hype about this movie, like the CGI and all the stunt. Yeah, like I remember the commercials.
Man.
And it was
Blade,
just,
the first Blade and
Oh,
Matrix came out
Blade.
within a year of each other, man.
Dang,
That was
Blade.
crazy.
Yeah, Blade was good too.
You remember
That was
when
a
you were in
crazy time.
when you were in school, whatever it was, junior high or high school, when the first Matrix came out and everybody was doing the thing and trying to see how low
People
they
were going
could get?
crazy over the Matrix.
Oh, God.
I remember the
So many
theater.
concussions.
Theater was packed. And even just like the whole storyline, like, and I was still a young kid, so I had to watch it a few times just to kind of understand what was actually going on. But
no
man,
clue what's going on when I was a kid.
Yeah, I'm like, what's a computer? Yeah, that's a good one. What about you, Andy? What's your classic superhero?
I'll go back a little further than you guys. And a couple of Halloweens ago, me and Melissa went to the Metro Theater where they play older movies and watched the original Batman again, the Tim Burton one, Michael Keaton, with the original, not the first one with Jack Nicholson, but the next one with the Penguin, Catwoman.
Oh yeah. Michelle Pfeiffer.
It was like
Danny
the first
DeVito?
Danny DeVito was like the first kind of multi-villain movie, which I love because Spider-Man and Batman have always had the best groups of villains.
Yeah.
So that blew my mind, and the whole world they created, this dark world, and like Penguin had these like clowns, like goons that would go out and like cause trouble in the neighborhood.
It was scary.
Penguins came out with like rockets on them. It was going to be like Doomsday, and it was just like blew my mind as a kid. I was like, wow, this is like, I've never seen something just straight out of a comic book, just like before your eyes, something you just couldn't believe, right? Like, oh,
I gotta watch it again. I had it for VHS, and I was young when I watched it. But I remember when it was a scary movie. When Catwoman, when she dies, I couldn't watch that scene where they showed her like all fried up. It scared the crap out of me.
Even at the beginning, she falls out her window. She's laying there, and the cats are all meowing.
Yeah, it was such a dark movie. Yeah. Penguin biting that person's nose, like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
there's
him,
blood
like,
everywhere. Yeah,
and then what's his name was Catwoman's boss?
Was it a dude, a male?
Boyle them. Yeah, he's got that interesting voice. I can't think of his name.
That's it.
Can't help you with that one.
Can't help you with that one. I gotta watch that movie again.
Christopher Walken.
Oh shit! Really?
And that's when I first was introduced to him. And that guy's, it was just cast incredibly. It was. Yeah. Later on, they started, they got Arnold Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze,
George
and,
Clooney,
Jim Carrey's.
Yeah.
So, like, they started casting kind of like ridiculous after a while, but like that was some good casting.
Oh yeah,
like
that was before its time. I think
the original.
If they redid that movie now, I think it'd be like a blockbuster. Yeah, same cast, The Dark. Yeah, it's such a good movie, ahead of its time, I think.
Yeah, and I think like Tim Burton's best. Like he's made some really good stuff, but like front to back, like this might not be popular, opinion, but like even Nightmare Before Christmas is a great movie, but like if I try to watch it now, I have a hard time staying awake through the whole thing, right? But like, but some of that older Tim Burton stuff is just like, it's man, incredible.
Man. It's good. All right, should we wrap it up there, guys?
Yeah, sure.
You guys good? I appreciate you guys jumping on, man. We got some good content. Shared some good stories.
Always,
I appreciate you guys.
Anytime.
All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thanks for having us, Subscribe, like, everybody.
Subscribe, follow, like.